This question was asking you to identify the operationalised dependent variable in this study. So they gave you a massive clue that they wanted it operationalised, because that's something that people generally forget to do. And in this one, a lot of you forgot to do it, even though it's in the question. So the stem for this one was the one on the previous question. And the DV, the dependent variable, is what is being measured. Now, a lot of people mentioned that the DV was memory, or the improvement in memory, which is fantastic. So that would start you off. So improvement of memory, improvement in memory, improvement in memory. Operationalised by. So you've got to think about, how are they actually measuring this improvement in memory? What are they doing? And I suppose it doesn't really kind of specify exactly in the STEM what they're doing, but you can kind of work it out, because they're being asked to read a list of words and to memorise that list of words in the different locations. And so they must be measuring how many of those they got right. Otherwise, how are you going to know what their memory's like? So you have to count them up. So this is operationalised by the amount of words correctly recalled. And then you need to say out of how many. So it was out of 20 in each of the conditions. I'm just thinking, actually, I might have written down on some people's answers that it was 25. So if I've written that on your answer, I should have wrote 20. So you might want to have a look at that. I wonder why I've put that, or maybe that was on the next question. Anyway, so this here is a perfect answer for this question, because I've got improvement in memory and I've got the amount of words, or you could have had the number of words, but it's got to be kind of out of 20. They did actually give you the marks if you just put the amount of words recalled out of 20. That would have been enough to get 2 marks. But if you just put the amount of words correctly recalled, you wouldn't have got it, because there's not enough detail about where those kind of words are from. If you'd have said something like from list A and list B, then that's implying the out of 20. So I think they probably would have given it you then. In fact, I'm going to put that on from list A or list B, like that. That's probably a perfect answer there. So there's different variations that you can do, but if you just put something like correct words or number of words, it's not enough detail to get the both marks. So you've got to kind of put a bit of extra stuff on to fully kind of operationalise it. And the reason why this is important is because if I was a researcher and I was reading this piece of research that somebody else had conducted, and I wanted to see whether this phenomenon of context-dependent memory, so recalling things in the same environment that you learnt them in, is a bit easier to remember than if they're in different locations, then I might want to test that and I might want to do my own study. But if I do it in a completely different way, I won't be able to check the reliability of those findings and see if they're consistent. But if I do it in the exact same way that they've done it, then I can see whether or not we'll get those results again, and then we can determine whether or not these results about memory are reliable, and therefore implies that perhaps that is how memory works and that's how memory can be improved. But if I don't know how it's operationalised, I can't do that. So in order for psychology to be scientific, and in order for us to investigate these things, we need to operationalise our variables, which is why it's crucial and why they always ask you about identifying what the DV is and the IV is and how it's operationalised. Because if you want to be a psychologist, then you've got to be able to kind of know these things, or be a researcher in any discipline. You've got to kind of know this stuff. So it is a really crucial skill that you need to remember to do.